Hi guys, in this tutorial I'm going to show you the second part of the core data tutorials that I had before. So previously I had done a core data tutorial with the person with the first name and the last name, but now I'm going to show you how to extend it. So I'm opening up the core data tutorials that we've created earlier. This one I called it core data tutorials with the Z at the end. And I'm gonna open up my project and see what we have here. Okay, so previously in the first part I had a person with the first name and a last name attributes, and the person is the entity, and in the view controller I had done 3 operations, which is the add person button, the search person button, and the delete person button. So now I'm going to show you how to subclass the person. So person will be the superclass. All right. So we're gonna do an add entity. We're gonna have entities called student, because student will be a type of a person, and the student will have let's say student will have money. All right, and a student will also have a school name. All right, so the money, it will be the amount of money that the student has, and the school name is the name of the school that this student goes to. And in addition to that, the student, if it's a subclass of person, that means student will also have a first name and a last name. So, and I'll also have add another entity. So this one won't be a subclass of person. I'm gonna call this cat. So it'll be like different types of cats, and my attribute for cat is going to be just cat name, and cat name will be a string. Alright, so this just to show you that when we do this, it'll create like 2 different tables, a person table and a cat table. So I haven't defined these attributes yet. So for student, money is gonna be a double, and school name, I'm just gonna make it a string. Alright, so we have 3 different entities here. We have a cat, a person, and a student. And here, in order to make a student subclass of person, you have to click on the utilities. While the student is selected, click on the utilities and click on the object inspector, or the data model inspector. Click it, and then you see here the name is student, and when it says parent entity, click on this, and the parent of student will be person. So that's basically how you add the first name and last name to the student. So now, in addition of student having money and school name, student will also have first name and last name. And cat, if you look at it, parent entity, I'm just gonna leave it because the cat is not a person, so it's not gonna be a subclass of that. So now let's go to our view controller .zip, and then we can extend the functionalities. Alright, let me move my label down here. I'll move the delete person button here, so I can make room for the new things that I'm gonna add. So I'm gonna add two more text field. Yeah, sorry I didn't start this tutorial from the beginning. I usually like to start from scratch, but since I've already made the first part of this, hopefully if you haven't done the first core data one, hopefully you can find it. If not, then I think, I'm not sure if I have to code the source up on GitHub, but if not, then just let me know and I can put that up. So a placeholder for this one will be for students, so I'm gonna call it student money, and it'll be double. I'm gonna add one more text field. Actually, let me delete it because I think a student wouldn't have that much money. Not delete it, but I mean like make it a little bit shorter. Okay. Cause I'm making it shorter because in this case I haven't done the scroll view with my text field, so when I click it the keyboard's gonna pop up, but it's not gonna scroll just because I haven't added the scroll view on this one. So here for this is gonna be the school name. School name, that'll be the placeholder text, and I'm gonna have one more text field. I'm just gonna call this one cat name. Oops. Let me add it in the placeholder text. Cat name. Okay. And I'm gonna add I'm just gonna add two more buttons just to show you like basically how it's done. So instead of doing add student, search student, delete student, I'm just gonna do a add student, and I'll show you that the data that I've added actually appears on the table, and the search and the delete you pretty much do it the same way as you did in the first tutorial. That's an add student, and this one will be a add cat. Alright, and so we're gonna make our connections, and remake my connections. I'm gonna make it automatic and go to the view controller.h. And so we added these three text fields, so just control click and drag them on our property. This text field, I'm gonna call it student money text field. Type is UI text field, storage is weak, and add a school name, control click drag. I'm gonna call it school name text field. Type UI text field, storage is weak. Cat name, control click drag. I'm gonna call it cat name text field. Alright, so and then now we have to make our connections for our two new buttons, which are add student button, and don't forget to change a connection to action, type ID, event touch up inside, argument sender. Same thing with add cat, change our connection to action. I'm gonna call this add cat button, type is ID, event touch up inside, argument sender. Alright, and then that's all the connections that we need. And now our view controller .m, I've already done a add person button, so I'm gonna copy this code and paste it here into the add student button, because our add student button is what happens when this button, this add student button, gets clicked. So from here, the entity description, entity for name instead of person, it's going to be for not the entity person anymore, but it's going to be for this entity, which is student with a capital S. So here, let me comment this out, and we can do this from the beginning for the add part. Alright, so we do ns entity description, entity this, kind of like the first one, ns entity description, entity for name, and the name will be student because that's our entity, and ns in manage object context, still context, and here we do ns manage object, new student equal ns manage object alec init with entity, and our entity is the entity we've just created, which is entity this, insert into manage object context, again, is context. And just a reminder, in case you haven't done the first one, our context is a ns manage object context here, and it gets initialized, and right here in the view did load. I imported a appdelegate.h, and appdelegate.h is a UI application shared application delegate, and app delegate manage object context. So that's our context right there, which is the ns manage object context. So that is this context here. Alright, and now I'm gonna set the value of the new student. New student is set value. So again, just a reminder, student has a money and a school name, but since it's a subclass of person, student also has a first name and a last name. So here in student, I'm gonna say set value self.firstname text field dot text for key. The key was called first name. Alright, and now we have to do new student, set value self dot last name text field dot text for key at last name, all lowercase, because here in person, first name and last name is all lowercase. Now we look at the student attributes. Money and school name is also all lowercase, and money, I'm gonna grab that from this text field here, and school name, I'm gonna grab that from this text field here. So go back to our view controller.m, and here I'm gonna make a little comment. This is person attributes, and this is extension to person attributes, which is, I'm not going to use that symbol, can be confusing, which is money and school name. So the person attributes is first name and last name. Alright, so we do that. We do the same thing. We say new student, set value for key. The key is money, so I'll do the for key part first. For key is money, and money, if we go back to look at our model, money is a double. Double is a little bit is not as straightforward as a string, so go back to our view controller implementation file, and when we have a money, we have to do, we're grabbing it from the money text field. So self dot what's my money text field called? Self dot student, I called it student money text field. Alright, self dot student money text field dot text, but it's not gonna like it because money is a double. So what we have to do is we have to make it an NS number. So do get the double value of that first. So we do that by putting a bracket and then saying double value, another bracket, and right now it's not gonna like it because double value is not an object, and a set value takes an argument of ID. So ID is expected to be like an object. So we do that by doing another bracket and saying NS number with double, and for the argument we're gonna pass in self.student money text field dot text double value, close off this bracket, and then that's our value for money. And the second attribute is school name. This one's more straightforward. New student, set value, and school name is self school name text field. Oh, I'm doing the dot notation. Alright, so do self dot school name text field dot text for key, and the key for this one is school name. Alright, and from there do ns error error context save ampersand error. Alright, and in our display text field, make this self.display label, not display text field, display label, sorry, self.display label dot text equals student added. Alright, so that should take care of our adding. See, it's pretty much the same thing as that, except for the student. These are the main parts we've added, and we've changed the entity from person to student. And yeah, I just changed the name so that it's more clear that this is a new student. The previous one was a new person. So let's run it on our iPhone simulator and see if it complains. Because if it does, what we need to do is we need to delete the previous core data SQLite like table that we have earlier. I'm gonna go to my libraries and do that by pressing shift. Well, let me close this one. I probably have a different one. Nope. Alright, so I do that by doing shift command G. I already have it set to my library, and then I say go, and okay, computer's taking a while again. Alright, let's see if my simulator came up. Okay. Right, computer's just being super slow today. Alright. Okay, there. This error I kind of expected, cause kind of want to show you guys. So that's why I was going to the library, because it's saying how unresolved error because something the operation couldn't be completed. The reason is the model used to open the store is incompatible with the one used to create the store. Because now that I'm in the library, oh, now I'm in the library. Okay, I'm in the library, and then I'm going to where am I going? I'm going to application support. Then I'm going to iPhone simulator. Again, I'm going to the iPhone simulator 6. I'm going to the applications, and I'm just going through there, my core data tutorials that I found. Look, I have already a previous one, and what we need to do for the previous ones is I have something else completely different, because the ones that we've created, it doesn't have a student, and it doesn't have like a cat. So what we need to do is I'm just gonna right click and say move to trash. So now that get rid of our old core data database that we have. So we just go here to go back and relaunch it, run it on our iPhone simulator again, and now it should show up. Well, it's kind of, let me look at my zip file. Are they stacked on top of each other? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna relaunch it, and okay, something's up with this, but hopefully the button still works. So let me try to add a person again before I do anything. So first name Iffy, last name, they're perfect. I hit enter, add person. It says person added. Now let's check our core data. So I have the cat, the person. Let's look into our, not our cat table, but our person table. Okay, so our person table, money field is blank. I have a first name and a last name. Alright, now we can try to go back to our simulator, add some more stuff, and say Student money, I have $400. Student name, oh, school name. Let's say I go to V school. Okay, and now I say add student. Now let's look back at our table. Z person, I go to Z person. There we go. See, and it's all put under the person table because student is a subclass of person, so everything is just in the person table. Here, you see the same first name and last name because I haven't changed it here, but the school name is added for the second one. So again, we can add like different people. So let's say I add Timmy the perfect, and then I say add student, and again look at our person. Now here's Timmy the perfect with the same everything. And if I just say add person, which is here, add person, it says person added, and we look at our data, and there we go, Timmy the perfect with no money and school name, even though our money and school name is filled. So that's how you subclass. Another entity with another entity. So in my example, I subclass student is a subclass of person. So that's why student also has a first name and a last name. So for a cat, it just has a cat name string. So let me do that really quick. Okay, here's my view controller. So my add cat, I'm just gonna have ns entity description, entity this equals ns entity description, entity for name, and the name will be cat. Oops, cat, because that's our the entity that we have on here. Here, cat, capital C, lowercase a, lowercase t, in manage object context, ns manage object new cat equals ns manage object alec init with entity description, and okay, I spelled that wrong. Entity description context. Alright, and I'm just gonna say new cat set value of the new cat will be whatever is in the cat text field. So self dot cat name text field dot text. For key, let me remind myself what my attribute is called. It's called cat name. Alright. So cat name, and then same thing, we do ns error context save ampersand error in case we have an error. Again, I'm not doing any error check, but you can always do a ns log or something to look at your error. self.displaylabel.text equals added cat. Alright, now again, run it on our iPhone simulator, and then that should work. Alright, so let's just add a cat name. Cat name is Bowcat. Okay, I'll say I haven't Bowcat. I'll go add cat, and then it says added cat, and we'll look at our cat table, and there's Bowcat, and our person is still there. Alright, so in this tutorial, I'm not gonna show you how to do the delete button and the search button, but it will be pretty much the same thing. So if I do delete, for example, everything is in our table, so we're deleting by first name. So let's say go to our simulator and we want to delete a person. Let's say we want to delete both of our Timmys. Again, let me remind you, so we have two Timmys. If we want to delete it, first name, I'm just gonna say Timmy, delete person, and it says 2% deleted because there's two Timmys here. Now we refresh our table and both of our Timmys are gone. So but you can play with like however you want. If you want to check for more than the first name, so both person doesn't get deleted, you can check for like last name, you can check for the money, you can check for school name and things like that. So that can be found in the first tutorial. And again, if you do a search button, if you do a search person, you will still find the person. So let's say you search for Iffy, you do this button, search person. Oh, because we were searching by first name and last name. Me do Iffy the per, and a reminder again. I'm gonna use a star for our regular expression. Do search person there, and it found Iffy, last name the perfect. So that's why I didn't do the search, because search and delete is pretty much the same thing. The main point of this tutorial is that you can see how to subclass person, so that you have a person here and you have a student here, which is a subclass of a person, and you can also have a completely different class, which is a cat, which will create a new table for you. Alright, so that was the end of this tutorial. Hopefully you've learned something new about core data and how you can subclass some class that you already have, subclass an entity, I mean. So alright, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.